Hey guys, welcome to another video on my channel. Today I'm going to play another game for the Road to 2000 series. Going to play a 10-0 match, rapid, like I've been doing up until this point. I'm currently rated 737, my opponent is rated 753. Let's see how far we can go. This opponent does the exact same thing as my previous opponent, going for a Scholar's Mate. Yeah, the Caracan is the worst opening to try a Scholar's Mate on, probably, because yeah, I mean, my bishop immediately blocks, my pawn immediately blocks your bishop. He probably wants to go like here, which doesn't really do anything, so let me just develop my knight. Knight f6 is fine. Yeah. Yeah, it's gotta be fun seeing the level of the opponents grow eventually step by step once I get further and further into the series. At this point I'm still getting a lot of elo points for every win, so this is almost 50 points. So by the time I'm at part 10 or part 20, this is the same thing my previous opponent did. By the time I'm at part 20 or 25 or 30, I'll be 13, 14, 1500 maybe at this tempo, maybe even more. So that'll be fun, and we'll see how far we can go. Let's see, I can take the knight. Can't really go here. Okay, let's just take the knight. Let's play g6 and go for bishop g7. Yeah, let's just go bishop g7. Let's just keep it simple. Yeah, I don't want to go for too many tricks. Maybe I won't play the best moves at the beginning of this series and just play solidly and try to win based on the correct principles, and yeah. As long as there aren't any major tactics I'm missing, I'll just play simple chess and try to win. It is maybe a little bit dangerous to castle right now because he has the open g file, or at least the half open g file, and yeah, that's maybe something. At this point I am going to play knight e4 because I want to trade either the bishop for the knight for the bishop, or if he hangs his queen, I'll obviously take his queen. Yeah, he doesn't, so yeah, let's just take the bishop. I'll probably do it like this. I'll go knight d7. Yeah, this will be fine. Take back if he takes. See what he does. This game has actually been relatively equal up until this point, so yeah, I think sometimes you'll face these games where it'll just be relatively equal, and we'll just have to play until like an end game and try to win it like that. So yeah, I'm still not really convinced on castling, but I guess I'll do it and won't be afraid. So I actually want to play e5 here too, which is what I'm gonna do right now. I think let's just very simply calculate e5 takes. I got like this move, and I'll probably win the pawn anyways. You can protect it like this maybe. Yeah, let's just do it. I think it's fine. Yeah, this hangs a fork, and if he takes like here, I'll take this first. So he has to move, and at the moment he moves, I can take his rook, and then if he takes, I'll just take back with my queen. So this is winning. That's actually a clever move. Let me just throw in f5 real quick, because I don't want him to take my knight for free. And now I am threatening his queen, and by threatening his queen, he has to move it again, and once he moves it again, I can take the rook, and I'll be up a full rook. If I didn't play f5 here and I took the rook, he could have taken my knight. If I take back, he takes back with his bishop, and it's still winning for me. I'd be one rook, one bishop, and one knight and one bishop versus two rooks and the bishop, which is a minor piece versus a rook, which would have been winning. But it's still, I still think it's better this way. You can actually, oh, you can take this. Okay, my rook is protecting. Okay. Let's just play real simple. Okay, let's just, I can take that, but then he gets his queen in, so I don't really like that. Let's see. Okay, maybe I play knight f6. Yeah, I think I go for knight f6. Now he can take here, but doesn't really do a whole lot, I think. Maybe eventually trying to go here. It does get a little bit dangerous with my pawn structure like this and his light square bishop still being in the game. However, I think I can just simply go, okay, maybe I'll just take here, and even though his queen comes in, I'm gonna go rook c8 and maybe bishop c3 afterwards and pin his knight and then win, and can't go here now, can't take the knight because I'm protecting it with my queen and my rook. So he has to probably go back like either of these two squares. Maybe you can go like here, but yeah. Like I said, bishop c3 is coming, and yeah. It does have this check, which I sort of missed. Not really though, doesn't really matter. G7 seems fine to me. Yeah, G7 seems fine to me. So no checks. Plays this move, okay. Obviously he wants to take my bishop, which is free if I wouldn't move it. So let's go here. Threatening to take on d2. And maybe I'll be able to go like queen d7. If he moves like his rook here, I'll probably play queen d7 and try to trade off queens. And, yeah, this is also a decent move probably. Yeah, I can come in here of course, but his knight is still protecting. So let's see. What shall we do here? Okay, maybe I'll just go for the idea I had at first. He does have some squares for his knight, which is maybe sort of annoying. Another idea, I can play knight e4. And he doesn't have this because my queen is protecting, and he doesn't have this because my bishop is protecting. Well, at least I'll be able to trade off some pieces. And this move does eventually like threaten like checks or something, and it centralizes my knight. So I guess I'll kind of like this. Maybe I'll go queen f6 in the future. Let's see, he can maybe go here. At which point I will probably play this or this. Probably this though. Yeah, this opponent has definitely been putting up a fight more than the other opponents have been in the previous games. So yeah, playing pretty good up until this point. I can I can just move this bishop back, and if he takes, it'll be fine. So let me do that real quick, I guess. And trading off all the pieces is obviously in my favor because I'm up a rook in the end of that sequence. So yeah, and he does it. So yeah, now I offer him a queen trade. He can obviously decide not to accept it. Unfortunately for my opponent, yeah, okay, he does eventually decide to take, but if he didn't, he couldn't really do anything. If he got here, I give him check, and yeah, well, this obviously maybe even leads to mate. So yeah, there's this bishop, which is still scoping my my rook through my pawn right now, so I have to be a little bit careful. I can't play a move like this, for example, because I'll lose my bishop, my rook. And on this situation, I could play a check like this, but in my opinion that's a pretty bad move because his king gets up and there's no move after that which I can play which makes any sense. If I go here though and he goes to like the first rank, it'll be good for me because I can take the pawn here. So let me just play this move. If he comes up, I'll just take the pawn here probably. This is probably the best move here is to just take this pawn and be happy. There's no real other moves. I can't go here because of the knight. My bishop is not protecting my rook, so I can't take this. So I'll just take on f2. Definitely a longer video than the previous two games. And yeah, probably the videos will get longer and longer depending on how much resistance my opponent will bring. So yeah, let's see. A move like this would come with taking this. So yeah, okay. He decides to resign eventually, and yeah, obviously for my opponent it's really hard to play a game like this because I'm a much higher rated player, and yeah, you're just gonna struggle to find good moves. So yeah, let's see. I played 89.6% average. My opponent played 76.1. I played like a 1500. My opponent played like a 1250. I had one miss and one inaccuracy, and yeah. Let's analyze the game. Okay, e3, c6. Obviously, this is the Caro-Kann. Like I mentioned, if I go for d5, he really can't go for the scholar's mate. So sometimes they'll play moves like this, try to get in here. And if I, for example, play something like this, they'll probably want to play this and go for like a mate here. However, you know, the scholar's mate never really works because I can just move my knight, and you can't really play like this because, well, seen that the last two games right now where they played g4 and they forgot that g4 is attacked by both the knight and the pawn and the bishop, so I can just take on g4 and be up a pawn very easy and simple in the game, which is what happened in the game, of course. And let's see, I traded off the bishops. I eventually managed to kind of lock his bishop away, and ever since what move was it? Move 6, he hasn't actually moved his bishop until he resigned at the end of the game. So that's also just not a good sign. And here I went for the trade of the bishop, which wasn't the best move. Yeah. I can see why my bishop of my knight is on a good outpost. He can eventually kick it away, but that's just a bad move, and he'll just have trouble protecting his king. So letting my knight stay on this outpost and keeping it there instead of trading off was obviously the better move. But like I mentioned earlier, sometimes you gotta just simplify and play simple chess. Try to win the game by being up. This wasn't actually the best move, which is kind of, oh, that's actually quite a surprise to me. This was actually the better line, okay, because I had to go here, okay. And then at that point he had to play c5 to I bet to prevent me from taking and going here, because then I'll have the nice pin and attacking a minor piece. If you move the minor piece, I could have taken this, of course. So yeah, wouldn't expect that to be the better move, because f5 prevents him from taking my knight, and it allows me to also take the rook. So he did find some good moves here by taking my pawns. Obviously his idea is to give like checks and go for like some attack here. My king is very weak on the light square, so what he should have probably done here is he should have probably went here. Oh, that's maybe too slow, right? Yeah, okay, that's probably too slow. yeah, obviously at this point it's completely lost. So yeah, king e2 is a mistake too. His best move was to obviously he could have just castled. Yeah, okay, well, can't blame him for not seeing that. And this is the miss I played in the game. The best move here would have been rook c2, and if he took here, I could just take, and well, that's actually mate. So yeah. Okay, fair enough. Rook c2 was the best move. And let's see, I played bishop c3, which he could have easily avoided by moving the knight, something he couldn't have done if the rook was on c2, of course. So I played knight e4, he played rook c1, I brought my bishop back. Those are all best moves, and trading off everything was good for me, of course. So I went here, and yeah. This is an excellent example of playing an opponent that's just higher rated than you. Yeah, it's just, for him it's almost impossible to play against this, because yeah, what are you gonna do? You just keep losing your pieces, and it's very difficult. And yeah, could have maybe tried to play this, but yeah, this is a maiden 10 because of this move, because of rook d2. Okay, well, yeah. Okay, well, that was the video for today. A bit longer than the last few videos in this series, but yeah, see you in the next one.